Hi, this is Ox King from Dragon Ball Z Kai. Can you let me on your computer there? I need to listen to This Week in Geek with Mike the Birdman and the rest of the Twig crew on ThisWeekInGeek.net.
And now it's time for another special feature.
Tickle.
What's the front on, bitch?
Don't let it go to your head! Who are you, and what do you want?
An old-fashioned superhero, fulfilling orders in the name of justice.
Piccolo!
That was an underwhelming performance. I was expecting a lot more out of you.
The return of the Red Ribbon Army is near! Pan!
This world needs a hero. I just picked up some new intel on who the villains are.
Gohan, it's do or die time, so draw out all of your strength. Okay then, guess it's my turn!
Oh, holy crap!
Dragon Ball Super Superhero.
Hey guys, what's going on? You are listening to ThisWeekInGeek.net, and I am, of course, defending the seventh universe here today. Though this is not the Tournament of Power, I am one of your competitors today. I am Mike the Birdman, not from planet Vegeta, but I'm joined by my fellow compatriot and a guy I would consider to be one of Earth's mightiest heroes.
It's Ken Reels from This Anime.
That's right, guys. So we're going to be talking some anime on this special Twig special. If you have been following the news recently, and how could you not, Dragon Ball is back in theaters. And earlier this week, or last week, depending on when this airs, we had a chance to sit down with Gohan himself, Kyle Hebert, talking about his new movie, Dragon Ball Superheroes, which is currently in theaters and in select cities in IMAX. So because the movie's been out for about a week or so now, expect spoilers. So if you have not seen Dragon Ball Super, well, come back when you have. Otherwise, me and Ken are going to be talking about kind of Dragon Ball Super, kind of our interpretations of the movie, where the franchise goes from here. And I've been kind of reading on and off what's been happening in the manga because I keep an eye on comicbook.com when something major happens. And yeah, we're just going to kind of dance around that, so to speak. So, I gotta say, when this movie was first announced a while back and we saw the first trailer and we found out it was going to be a Gohan focused movie, I was actually really excited. I mean, on a personal note, I've been friends with Kyle Hebert for over 10 years, and I was really glad to see him get a chance to do something where he could really shine as a very beloved character in the Dragon Ball franchise, and having it be him grow up as a father, as a scientist, and it also tells the story about his little girl Pan. So, Ken, do you want to summarize the story of Dragon Ball Superhero?
Yep. Pretty much this is a throwback villain to original Dragon Ball. Like, the Red Ribbon Army is back, baby. And this time being led by the son of Violet and Red, which is weird. Okay. Named Magenta, who is played in the dub by Mario himself.
Great role, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Really good. And just like, yeah, it's stunt casting, but he did a great job. Whatever. And so the Red Ribbon Army is back and have basically created this massive conspiracy theory that the Briefs company is basically planning an alien invasion. And it's this very weird sense of just like, no, this would make sense if you're not in the know. And so they have this great theory and kind of framing it in the sense that they're the good guys. Reality, they're obviously the bad guys. And even the scientist that they get, who is the grandson of Dr. Gero, who created the androids, he basically gets wrapped into this, and they create the Dr. Gero's grandson creates these two android characters, Gamma 1 and 2, and they pretty much go out to try and destroy all the Earth's greatest heroes.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it. And there's also like a subplot how Gohan is kind of becoming an absentee father. He's focusing more on his work, and Piccolo is becoming closer to Pan. He's been training her how to fight.
Piccolo is becoming the best granddad.
Yeah, basically. And Pan hasn't learned how to fly yet, although she can run super fast. She's super strong, but she doesn't believe in herself enough yet to fly. So it's kind of Piccolo chastising Gohan. He's like, hey, you need to be ready in case something happens. And Gohan's like, yeah, well, Vegeta and Goku will take care of it because, they've beat Jiren, they've beat Broly, who's now a good guy. Like, what do you need me for? And Piccolo's like, no, you used to be, and you still have the potential to be
the greatest of all of us.
Yeah, like when Grand Elder Guru unlocked your potential, when the Elder Kai did the same thing, you have so much power within you, and it's unlocked by your emotions, but you are held back because you are so calm. And at one point, when the Red Ribbon Army decides to, like you mentioned, kill all the Z fighters, they know where Gohan is. So Magenta comes up with this plan with Dr. Hito, who is Dr. Gero's grandson. Let's kidnap Pan. Piccolo infiltrates the Red Ribbon Army. And he was like, okay, yeah, I'll go on the infiltration team. And he's doing it to lure out Gohan's ultimate power, because at the end of the day, he knows he can take these guys. Although the androids are super powerful, the fact that Piccolo fought in the Tournament of Power held his own against the universe's strongest, and Gamma, it was Gamma 2 mopped the floor with him. So
Gamma 2 basically
he was an idiot.
Surprised attacked him.
Yeah, he nuked him from the sky. But yeah, it's interesting to see how this movie really changes the dynamic, because Goku and Vegeta are off on Beerus's planet training. They're trying to get Broly to get his powers under control his rage. And Whis and Beerus are there hanging out. Beerus has just woke up from a 4-month nap. And they're like, oh, this noise is keeping me up. But you also find out on Beerus's planet, Limo and Chile are hanging there with Broly. And this struck me as so weird. There's a line where Beerus is really into Chile.
Beerus has a type.
Yeah, and Goku looks at Vegeta, what's going on? And it's so great. It's played for laughs, and it's really funny. But like ultimately, a lot of the fight scenes in this movie, they feel, and this is one of my biggest criticisms about this movie, I like the choreography, but I don't like the way the scenes look. It feels very video gamey and not in Fighter Z, more like Budokai. It feels very strange.
Now you see, like I saw it in IMAX. And I don't know. It's just the fact that I've seen a lot of bad CG. And this is not bad CG by any stretch of the imagination. This is actually probably some of the best CG I've seen from a Japanese studio, period. And there are some nuanced bits that if you're really looking at it, you're definitely going to like lose focus and just go, oh, okay, well, this is obvious. This is very CG animation kind of stuff. But overall, if you just let the movie wash over you, I think you just like immediately lose the fact that it's CG.
I think to me, the best of the Dragon Ball newer movies, now admittedly there's only been a couple. I think Dragon Ball Broly
Broly is definitely the better.
The best.
Broly is definitely the best overall. But Superhero is very good. It's a very good film.
I like Superhero more than I like Battle of Gods, not as much as Resurrection F. It would go Broly, Resurrection F, Superhero, and then Battle of Gods. But I do like how Superhero advances the plot because Goten and Trunks...
It stops being the Goku Vegeta show.
Yeah, and it advances things by at least a couple of years because Pan is said explicitly to be 3. Trunks and Goten are now officially teenagers. Their looks have changed. Their voices have changed, although Eric Vale still does the voice of Trunks. And things have changed. Although you don't see any other Z fighters except for Krillin, who shows up in Android 18, who's also sporting a new look. You'll also find out, and this kind of surprised me as a guy who watches a lot of Dragon Ball Super, Trunks and Goten, you would think they would still be hanging out together, and I guess they still do, but they haven't done the fusion dance in a while, and they fuck up and become fat Gotenks, which is funny.
I mean, it's obviously like they've already announced that Dragon Ball Super is coming back with another season eventually. It's in production basically. And obviously we're going to kind of jump from I hope they don't do another 2 recap seasons kind of stuff that they did with Battle of Gods and Resurrection F. I hope they don't do that. Here's hoping, but I mean, given the fact that a lot of Japanese studios now have decided, no, the movie is canon, and I mean, it happened with Demon Slayer last year with the fact that they redid the Mugen Train arc for no reason. I guess just to get the production levels of the next actual season to be as good as they are. They ended up airing the Mugen Train arc as episodes to just kind of give a little buffer for the animation team, I guess. I don't know. I'm really hoping that they don't do that with Super, given the fact that they didn't say it was coming next year and that it might be 2024 until we see more Dragon Ball Super. That gives me hope that they're just going to go straight into new content.
I don't know. Like, if you follow the manga for Dragon Ball Super, they're just wrapping up an arc right now. And I only know this because I've read it on comicbook.com. They do something called, I think it's called Granola, The Last Survivor. And it talks about one of the last survivors of the Saiyan attack on the Heaters planet or something. And there's this guy called Gas and a guy called Granola. And he's so powerful that he can fight Ultra Instinct Goku and Ultra Ego Vegeta. But he has this special ability where he can pinpoint someone's movements through watching through a special eyepiece, so he knows where the movement's coming from. And because Goku hasn't completely mastered Ultra Instinct yet, it's a state where he has to exist in perpetually, even when he's not thinking about it. And it explores all that, and they just finished it, I think, this past week, and Frieza comes back in a new form where he's now known as Black Frieza, and he one-shots both Ultra Instinct and Ultra Ego. And okay, I'm a little sick of this. Well, I have a new transformation. I'm the coolest guy in the room.
Well, this is why I think superhero kind of, even though there are new transformations, obviously it's Dragon Ball. That's a thing that it always will be.
Yeah.
But we're giving it to people outside of the main, outside of Gohan, Goku and Vegeta.
Yeah,
we're giving it to Gohan and Piccolo.
I wish Piccolo's transformation had a cooler name though, other than I'm Orange Piccolo. It would have been nice if they called it like Namekian Unleashed or something like that, kind of like Gohan's.
And I
potential.
also love I mean you obviously watched the dub, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Yeah. So there are some probably obviously dub moments, like the fact that Krillin reminds him, "Oh yeah, I can grow big."
Yeah. Like, I'm glad they did stuff like that, because if I did have one really positive thing to say about superhero, it is so remarkably accessible to new fans. Like, they basically recap Goku, they recap Cell, and this surprised me, and I'm so happy they did this. It's a blink and you'll miss it thing, but they canonize parts of Dragon Ball fighters. Yomi, who plays Android 21, that's Dr. Giro's wife. And they outright say Android 16 is based upon their dead son. That canonizes things. And I'm thinking, you didn't have to do that, and you did. Thank you.
Yes.
Like,
speaking of just like little kids, I had a little girl behind me during my screening, and she was like no more than 6. She was probably like 5, 4-ish. And she was ecstatic. She loved it. And like she was a little hyper before the movie, but like she was locked in the whole movie. And as soon as the movie ended, she was so disappointed that it was over. And then I also saw at the concession stand, it was a dad and his young son, and he was like, the dad was pretty built, and his son was just hanging on his bicep, and they were both in Vegeta garb, and it was
cool.
Just so cute. And another thing that I really wanted to point out, I noticed 2 major shots in the movie that were literally shot cribbing from the MCU. There's a shot that cribbed directly from Black Panther, and then there's another shot that cribs directly from Iron Man 2, and that Iron Man 2 is with Krillin coming out of the capsule, coming out of the plane, plane. Like, that's directly out of Iron Man 2. And then there was another one that was, I forget the specific moment, but it was like, I'm like, this is directly from Black Panther.
I think Dragon Ball Superhero does a lot of things right in terms of giving fans what they want. Although I have heard a lot of mixed reaction to this movie online. And I will say this, I liked it, but I didn't love it. But I love certain aspects of it. To me, this movie sits at a pretty comfortable 7.5.
I give it an 8. One of the cool things is this is a brand new director. Like, he hasn't directed much of anything. He's directed a lot of children's programming, mostly from what I see from his list. But this is his first like big directorial work, and he went with a splash. Like Tetsuro Kodama, like, props to him. This was great direction, very beautiful, like, to look at.
I think in terms of future Dragon Ball Super movies, I really hope this shows we're going to get a new one every couple of years. Like, I would be very, very, very satisfied, especially if they can start going theatrical. Because I remember these movies, like, there's always been Dragon Ball movies, and we didn't start getting Dragon Ball Super movies until what, 2013, 14, right? With Battle of
Uh,
Gods.
in terms of pushing the theatrical, yes, here in the
Yeah.
States
So yeah,
and
it
North
has
America, yeah.
so yeah, it's like taken a while. And the fact that now we're starting to explore other characters outside of the Goku show. I was reading an article on comicbook.com where Kyle Bear was talking with one of the reporters over there, and he's like, it has been literally decades since the Majin Buu saga and Gohan saw any real development. And with Gohan's new form of Gohan Beast, we don't know where that sits in terms of power scaling to Ultra Instinct or to Ultra Ego, or because, well, Ultra Ego hasn't been introduced in the
Technically
show.
introduced in the show, but
Technically.
but most fans know of it.
Yeah, like, because Vegeta has Super Saiyan Blue evolved. Goku has Ultra Instinct Sign, I think.
I think
And
that's what it's called, yeah.
yeah, so there was even this was teased on the official Dragon Ball Xenoverse Twitter that there's going to be Dragon Ball Superhero DLC coming for Xenoverse. That game came out in 2017. That game is
Yeah.
still supported today. I still play that game.
Hell, Fighters just got its last patch and is getting a next gen bump.
Yeah, like, it's Dragon Ball is one of those franchises that will eternally print money. As far as I understand, it's Toei Animation's biggest property, and Dragon Ball Super technically ended in 2018. Like, so keep putting money into. I mean, Fortnite just got things. In fact, after the show, I'm gonna go buy Goku.
I mean, they've been Epic and Fortnite have been building up to get Goku. Like, we started with the anime skins, then we got Naruto. They've been slowly building that plan to get Toei to say, okay, you can put Dragon Ball in.
Yeah,
and to be fair, all the normies in Fortnite have been bitching about how the Kamehameha is overpowered and all that bullshit. It's just like, yeah, it's fucking Dragon Ball in Fortnite. It's gonna be overpowered as hell.
I was about to say, how's that any different from Thanos when he had the Infinity Gauntlet, right? Like,
and that was
off.
these were the building. They were the main end goal was to get Dragon Ball in Fortnite. That was their end goal. It was pretty clear at some point.
Yeah, like, ultimately, I mean, I'm happy Dragon Ball is still in the public consciousness, and now that Crunchyroll has Dragon Ball Super, you can see different versions of Dragon Ball on Crunchyroll. Like, once upon a time, I used to have the Dragon Box from there, but I sold it years ago. Although, one of the coolest things I ever did way back in the day, just when Kai was starting to come out, I got to go to Funimation's office, and I got to explore their back room, which is literally, it is a giant room, top to bottom, floor to ceiling of this anime. And they're like, yeah, take whatever you want. We'll come back in 5 minutes. And I filled it with every conceivable Dragon Ball thing that I could. Like, it's one of those franchises for me. I got into it because up here in Canada, we used to show it on a channel called YTV, and that was the Ocean dub back when Ian Corlett voiced Goku, and when Brian Drummond did Vegeta. He was the original, over 9,000! And when the new dub came in from Funimation, it grew on me, and I eventually became friends with Sean Schemmel, who plays Goku. Haven't spoken to him in years, but I talk with Kyle every so often. And when I talked with him to do press for this movie, I was just really happy, and I'm glad to see him get his due And I really hope when Super continues, we get more Gohan focused stuff, because as far as I know, in the manga, Gohan never got Gohan Beast. This is a new thing with Orange kind of Piccolo. What's next? I want to see Goten and Trunks. I want to know what their new fusion as Gotenks is going to look like. Because at the end of the movie, they do the fusion dance and they get it right, but you don't see what the new form's going to look like.
They're teasing. They knew what they were doing. They knew exactly what they were doing when they teased that. It's just like, yeah.
And Pan in Dragon Ball GT becomes a good fighter in her own right. So obviously, GT didn't happen.
Yep. GT has been wiped from the planet at this point. There was a small hint that they might bring GT somewhat canon, but no, it's wiped from the board at this point.
I mean, if I had to say anything from GT, I would love for them to bring back the idea of the Black Star Dragon Balls.
Yeah.
I love that idea.
Yeah,
and I want to
really
see
cool.
And one of their bad guys is called Super Baby. Stupid name, but really cool powers. And at one point he steals Vegeta's body. Just imagine.
He got put into fighters. So
yeah, so like just imagine if Ultra Instinct Goku had to fight off another guy who's basically equivalent to a god of destruction. Like there could be some really cool shit in the future. And I think Dragon Ball's future is remarkably bright. As of this recording, I think this is the largest anime opening in North America.
Yep. Its opening days tickets outsold Broly by like $500,000, something like that.
Yeah.
But it also shows that Sony and Crunchyroll are really dedicated to pushing a theatrical experience, because E.T. got re-released for IMAX this week as well, and my IMAX screens, like the two major ones that I've frequent, they were both playing Dragon Ball this weekend.
I was actually
over E.T.
I was talking about this with like Alex, because I was saying, hey, do you want to go see Rogue One, which is getting released like this week as of this recording?
Straight I am.
and he was like, I don't want to go see Rogue One. I'm like, okay. But I was surprised that Dragon Ball Super is taking that spot from Star Wars. That says something.
Well, no, Rogue One is getting re-released
next
weekend.
Locally. We are not getting it.
Super is playing in IMAX for you guys.
Yeah,
wow.
we're not getting Rogue One. We're going to stick with Super. That says something to me.
Yeah.
Now, maybe in Toronto, that's a little bit different, but in Kitchener, they're getting Super.
Damn.
So fucking A.
Damn.
Like it's a good time to be a Dragon Ball fan. You've got tons of video games. In fact, I'm going to recommend this when you get the chance to do it. Whenever Dragon Ball Z Kakarot goes on sale next, grab it. That game is so much fun. It's a great Dragon Ball RPG. It's a great way to relive the sagas. Even the Trunks DLC, where you basically max out at like level 60, is remarkably fun. I still can't beat Beerus. He's a level 300. You can't use healing items. I can get him close, but I just can't finish him. But yeah, like there's a lot of really good media out there. There's a lot of great merchandise. I'm glad. So I guess overall, folks, if you want to see an interesting Dragon Ball experience, if you want to see Gohan and Piccolo get their due, if you want to see Mario play a fucking bad guy, go for it. If you play Dragon Ball Xenoverse, keep an eye out for DLC. The Canton City vote pack just came out, but Dragon Ball Superhero DLC, I'm imagining, will be incoming before the end of the year. I hope we get, if I had a wish list, I want the Red Ribbon Army costume that Piccolo wore I want Gamma 1 and 2, even if it's just character swaps and unique movesets. I mean, if in the idea world, they're two separate characters. Orange Piccolo is a new transformation for all Namekian characters, so it's a new Awoken skill. And obviously, adult Gohan gets a Gohan Beast transformation. That'll be available for all Saiyans. And yeah, so those are my wish lists. So anyway, folks, thank you for joining us here on this Twig special. Thank you for listening to our previous interview with Kyle Aber, aka Gohan. And I'm sure me and Ken will be talking more movies as we wrap up this month, as Alex will be back here on the show in just a couple of weeks. So Ken, any closing thoughts from you?
I actually want to close out with one of the funniest things that happened before the movie even started. A bunch of friends and one of the dudes had a girlfriend. They sat next to me, and the dude asks his girlfriend, "Who's the main character of Dragon Ball?" And then a buddy on the other side answers, "That's obvious. It's Piccolo."
I love it. So yes, folks, go out, see this movie, have yourself a fantastic time, and we will be back here on This Week in Geek talking more anime, movies, and geek media. You can count on it. We'll catch you guys again next time, only on ThisWeekInGeek.net.
At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
Thanks for listening to this episode of This Week in Geek. Hungry for more? Check out our website at ThisWeekInGeek.net. You can subscribe to the podcast, browse our Twitter and Instagram, and leave your thoughts on today's topics. If you'd like to give us some feedback, send us an email at feedback@ThisWeekInGeek.net. Tune in next time, and remember,
Lower your shields and surrender your listenership.
We would be honored if you would join us.
Thank you for your cooperation. Good night.